right, so namaste, everybody. And usually, what we do before we start, just taking a moment to reconnect with ourselves, and that we do with our presence, our deep breath, just taking a moment to feel the prana, inhaling and exhaling. Relaxing the face, uplifting the chest, and slightly engaging the Mula Bandha so we can be more present here. Try an invisible smile on the lips. Internally giving thanks for expanding our consciousness and studying these old scriptures. Let's start with one mantra Om together. Inhaling. Namaste. And welcome and thank you. Okay, so we're going to be talking today about the symbolism of the mantra Om. The page on your book is 381. And we can go there. Trying to find, here we go. Maybe we can read a little bit. Just trying to find my own video. And I can see it. Just 1 second. Yeah, I shared the screen, but I don't see anybody.
I see your screen.
No, I know you see my screen. I don't see you. Okay, now them. Oh, here we go. There we go. Okay, great. So maybe we can do today is read a little bit. So if you guys want to open the book, and again, the page is 381. So I don't know if one of you I can start and then someone can follow after.
Yeah.
Okay. One moment.
Okay. Should I start?
Sure.
In the yoga tradition, Om is the supreme mantra, the most sacred of holy words. Although it is first found in the spiritual writings of Hinduism, Om is used by Buddhists and Jains in their rituals and meditation, and has also passed over into the Jewish, Christian, and Muslim religions in the form of Amin or Amen, which is, I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, which is intoned at the end of all prayers, and in Christianity is even a title of Christ. These things saith the Amen, the faithful and true witness, the beginning of the creation of God. Revelation verse 3, chapter 3, verse 14.
So one thing that I would like to bring us back is that when we were studying Vedanta, we saw that had like two theories, and one of the theories is about the Big Bang. So the Big Bang, basically what it was an explosion in the universe with, meteorites. And from that is Big Bang, that explosion, um, we had microorganisms, and from the microorganisms with thousands of years mixing with water, they start becoming like aquatic beings, and then from the aquatic they develop legs, like the Darwin theory. But before this, when this Big Bang happened, basically the first expression or the first manifestation of creation or God was a frequency or a sound. And have you like swim under the ocean and pick up like a conch shell, and then you put it, and then you can hear this vibration. You can
Yeah.
hear this it's like so this vibration exists in everything. Actually we can hear even inside ourselves, or again if you are meditating in nature. And so basically the first form of God is in frequency, is in sound, and that sound is Om. Okay, so continue reading.
Your turn.
Okay.
Hmm.
In the yoga tradition, Om is the supreme mantra, the most sacred of holy words. This sacred symbol is spelled out either as Om or Aum, Om, Aum, but
Aum.
Aum, but it is usually written in the ideogrammic forms. It is the most important in repeating Om to pronounce the O correctly. It should be pronounced like a long O in the Italian or common American manner, as in home and loan. In England, Canada, and parts of the American South, the long O is sometimes pronounced as a diphthong, like two vowels jammed together, either like I, O, or E-O. This is not the correct manner of pronouncing the O, which should be a single, pure vowel sound. Om is more effective if it is mentally intoned, that is mentally sung on a single note. The pitch does not matter, whatever is spontaneous and natural. This makes the repetition stronger and of deeper effect, because intoning Om unifies the mind and naturally concentrates it. Om should be intoned, giving full value to both the O and the M. That is, Om should be intoned with equal time on both letters. Not or You need not to be overreacting about this, but approximately so. The way to receive the benefit of the mantra is japa, the continual repetition intonation of the mantra. In this way, the invoker is constantly imbued with the power and consciousness inherent in the mantra.
Thank you. Yeah, so sometimes we are in the group class and we have those high pitch, oh, and it's not, it really, so we need to also give the tonation, and you can also chant on according to the chakras. Like in the Tibetan ohms are like a deep oh. And then you have more like anahata, more this way, that is a more happy one. Oh. So yeah, not too much of the O, not too much of the M, but definitely has a profession, vibration in there. And then it continues. Shankara commented on Patanjali's statement, his God spoken form is Om. Says, this sutra explains the form in which the devotee contemplates on him. According to Mandukya Upanishad, that which exists and only exists and is nothing but Om. And now we're going to see the symbolism. Basically, everything is inside Om. The Hindu scriptures state that Om is God, and his melody invokes the presence of the divine within us and outside us. And then this is what I was referring. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Om is that word. This is the seed sound for the Ajna chakra. We already have seen this. Located in the third eye center, which contains the principle of unity. Since masculine and feminine energies meet at the third eye point. And this is also coming from the Tantra lineage, where Shiva and Shakti, or Pida, or in Tantra would be Shiva Shakti, and in Hatha Yoga would be the sun and the moon. They meet there. Om transcends past, present, and future and envelops all of them simultaneously at the same time. It is the supreme state of being, offers peace, generates strength, extinguish worry, and protect us and guide us during the states of walking, dreaming, and deep sleep. So those states are every day, containing every day. It also purifies and awakens the forces of our physical, casual, and subtle bodies that we study on the koshas. We said that we have 5 layers and 3 bodies. Yeah. So cleanses all the different layers. Om draws our mind inward, purifies our environment, cleans the psychic, and connects the soul with the universal consciousness. Is the source of all yantras. The yantras are the symbols of the chakras, and also so many are there from different mantras and mandalas. Om draws, and that is repeating. So then you have the benefits of Om that I already put it on the group. That will be one of the questions. Any of you wants to read the benefits of Om?
Okay, I'll read this time. We'll flip-flop. There are countless benefits to chanting the sacred mantra Om. The vibratory effect on the body is very healing. The sound frequencies found within the Om represent the sum total of all possible sounds. And since in Sanskrit the sounds are related to states of consciousness, this means that within the Om exists the pathway to reach the highest states.
Yeah, and continue.
The sound of Om has a relaxing effect on all of the cells of the body. Ohms bring the mind into focus and are ideal for chanting with meditation. Ohms calm the mind and balance the mental energies. Ohms have an integrating effect on the class. They bring the room together in harmony. Ohms bring spiritual energy to the room. Make sure always that students are harmonizing with your ohms. It is fine to instruct the group to make sure that they are harmonizing with you.
Beautiful. And then we have this 4 state of consciousness that we'll take a look now. So definitely, so let's talk a little bit about this, about the Om. And definitely any traditional yoga class will be bringing mantras, but the very minimum is the mantra Om. And then I have, different teachers, different approach. So for example, in the Shivananda lineage, that was my first teacher. That is the integral yoga, because it's the 4 paths together. They definitely do Oms in the beginning, sometimes 3, because again, we have 3 bodies, so Om for the 3 layers. And sometimes you can say Om for yourself, or Shanti, peace for yourself, for your family, and then for the world. But what happened with that? So before you do Om, it's almost like when you do Om, it's like calling God. Hello, God. It's like a direct WhatsApp with God, right? So what happens if we call God or Jesus or whatever, Buddha, Krishna, we call, hey, I'm calling you, come. And then we are not there. We are not present yet. So because of this, the teacher, before goes chanting Om, you need to do some breathing. You need to make them present. Here comes Jesus, looking all cool, and hi, knocks your door. You call me. Oh, you here? I wasn't expecting you. Wasn't prepared to receive you. So that is what happens when the teacher, is teaching maybe mechanically, is not really understanding what are we doing. And traditionally speaking, yes, we want to bring Om into the class, but we want to be present when we call these divine names. So highly recommend to take a few minutes to do some type of pranayamas. And we also mentioned a lot of different pranayamas. So definitely the most traditional is Ujjayi pranayama, just sound breathing, and you can definitely create that invitation. Last star, leaving everything that is not belong to this present moment outside the room, just for a short period of time. Whatever is that you haven't finished at the work, whatever is that you need to resolve with your family. Now we are going to practice yoga. And then, so that, Ujjayi is the most classic. Definitely you can do Nadi Sodhana, the alternate nostril breathing. I think is so effective. That technique is like, boom. If you're teaching in the evening, usually people are tired. You can do just a short Kapalabhati. You maybe it's for them, wake up. Kapalabhati can replace espresso, a little cafecito. So let's say you're crashing at 4 p.m. and instead of having caffeine, you can Kapalabhati yourself and you will be back on. But you understand the point, right? Well, after they do some breathing, then we can do our sankalpa, our intention for the practice, and our mantras. Because now we are fully there. It's not like we're just chanting from the mouth out. We are fully present. Then I had the other teacher, Andre Lapa. He is the teacher that I kind of study more now, and he does Vrajasana Buddhist Tantra and create a yoga style based on those principles. So we don't do any mantras in the beginning because of this reason. He said, I'm not going to be putting students to chant. They still thinking about, did I park my car okay? What I'm going to have dinner later. All kinds of thoughts are still flying around. And then you're calling God. So first is better to practice, get the mind clean, get the body clean, and then we chant mantras. And actually we do many mantras. We do a lot of mantras before Shavasana and after Shavasana as well. So in Universal Yoga, we practice for like 2 hours. Then we do, pranayamas, meditation. Then we do shavasana. And then in the end, we do mantras before or after shavasana. Once you feel like, okay, now they're fully present, that would be more appropriate, as well. Because most of the time, students are arriving and it takes a moment to fully be present. Agree?
Yeah.
So you gotta see how it feels. I also saw some teachers, they will do like this. They will do like some opening sequence, little breathing, little movement, let them so connect with that present moment. And once they are in Tadasana, then they do the Om. So you need to feel the energy. You need to feel the energy and you use your powers, your telepathy to read the energy collectively of the students. Maybe another situation is different. Maybe you arrive there, you already have some students in meditation, breathing, quiet. That is different. In Miami, it's complicated. We have students that arrive 1 minute before the class. We can just go chanting on right away. Right. And it is some kind of disrespect. We are calling Om and calling all the divine principle of the gods. And we're just still thinking about the parking lot and, all like this. Okay. Now let's take a look at the symbolism. You also have a gnome there in your book that is a little blurry actually. So maybe you just want to draw a gnome in your book and let's go over it. Yeah, sorry that it doesn't really look good. But let's
Okay,
so
it'll
they
force
all
us to,
yeah,
when we write, we'll remember.
just draw a gnome. The gnome is like a number 3 and a curve and the dot and like that. So let's go first. First one is the dot. Let's take a look on that dot. This right here. And this is called Turuya, or in this, depending on the lineage, it can be also called Purusha, which is the supreme consciousness representing by like a male energy, the dot. Then the line under the dot, we talk about this in the courses, is also name is Maya. And Maya was that veil that doesn't allow us to see the reality of things. But Maya also has another name for Prakriti. So Prakriti is the female energy. Prakriti, and Purusha is going to be in what we call Samkhya philosophy. And Samkhya. And then Turuya, that is the dot and the line, called Maya that is in Vedanta philosophy. Don't worry about this because we also have class on the darshans of yoga, and you will learn again what is Vedanta, what is Samkhya, what is Raja Yoga, all again. But I just want to give you the different definitions according to the lineage. So again, the dot is Turuya, or is like infinite, basically God omnipresent, or Ishvara. And then this line here is Maya, or illusion, doesn't allow us to see the reality. And in Samkhya philosophy, the dot is Purusha, or supreme God consciousness, which is basically abstract and is represented by a male force. And the line again is Prakriti, which is representing all the female power and everything that we can see and touch. It's kind of double interpretation. So the beginning of the world in some different science is caused by the Big Bang, and in Hinduism is happening through this union. So this male dot kind of is fertilizing the womb of the female, of Prakriti. And then as the world takes shapes and starts developing. Okay? So that would be again in Samkhya, Purusha and Prakriti comes from Sankhya philosophy. Purusha represents supreme consciousness, has no form, and is the male. And Prakriti is representing the female goddess, which is everything that we can see and touch. That is the female. So Prakriti, in other words, is unmanifest matter. So that's why we said the female can manifest anything. What happens is she receives literally this power from God or from the male energy and fecundize the egg. And this is how now from an unmanifest matter, now Prakriti start expressing God through different shapes and colors, and that's how we see things. Now is a mountain there, is an ocean there, animals are there, different flowers, different colors, everything from God that is formless and abstract, the union of male and female here, then all the world is manifested with all these colors and shapes. And in Vedanta, what do we see? We see the dots that can be Ishvara or God, Supreme God, again, creator, Brahman, right? And what doesn't allow us to perceive that God is in everything is this veil called Maya. The veil of illusion, the veil of ignorance. And it says here, illusion. The state of illusion is permanent in most of the human during their lifetime. They separate us from the higher state of realization. It's just like we are in a movie. We are in the matrix. So we see things in a way, in a limited way. We don't see the totality of it, right? We don't see that the homeless somehow is also part of our human family. We distinguish what is more important, this animal or this other animal. So yeah, so this is the dot again, representing by the supreme divine, and the line would be Maya, illusion, doesn't allow us to see, in Vedanta, and in Samkhya is Prakriti. Another name for Prakriti that you will remember easier is Pachamama. Sure, you heard that. So Prakriti and Pachamama is like the same. Is our Mother Earth. Without that, we don't exist, right? Without air, what comes from the Pachamama? The elements. Without air, without some heat of fire, will be in ice age, you also will die. Without the fruits and vegetables from the earth, we probably couldn't exist. So this Mother Earth is feeding us life. All right. So that is the symbolism of the dot and the line. And again, this is our Hinduism creation of the world. Didn't happen like a big bang. It happened between this formless expression of God has a male and this other manifest matter, or the illusion of not being able to see God in everything. That God is the ultimate reality. And because it's eternal, it is the only thing that really exists. Everything else is here now and then is not here anymore. Then we have from the number 3, let's say, in the first curve, we have the unconscious state. So here is basically when the seeker subconsciously shut down their senses and have no desires or dreams anymore. So here you are already beyond. You were able to do maximum pratyahara. And you're not aware of that state. So the unconscious state is when you are in a deep sleep. When you are in that type of sleep, you don't even know that you are existing. You're like dead. That's like sleeping. It's no movement, there's no dream. So the unconscious state is the closer state that we can say to samadhi, because it's the absence of ego, is the absence of desires, is the absence of emotions. Deep sleep. The I, the ego, does not exist. right? So what is enlightenment? Is arriving to similar to that state when you are like in blackout, but conscious. Like you know that you are awake and you know that you're in that blackout state. Okay. And then we have the lower curve, that is the waking state. And this is when you are operating on the world. So you are going to work, you're going to drive, you're going to study, and you experience the world through your five sense organs, right? Whatever you see, whatever you smell, whatever you taste, you will have a perception. And also you will have an opinion, a classification. I like this, I dislike this. Right. Like that, so. So far, so good?
Yes.
And even though it says waking state, you know, because we're moving around, but you couldn't say that is an awake state. We're just operating through the manas, through that manager in the mind, and doing what we need to do. You know, you have an appointment at this time. You know, you need to be to school at this time. You need to go to work at this time. You need to eat. You need to drink. All this is happening almost like an autopilot, I will say. But what I have perceived, especially more and more through the, you know, iPhones and electronic, I see a lot of people living in the market, you know, or even worse, crossing the street with the cell phones like this. So it's like they are in the waking state where they are awake, but they are not awake. They look like zombies. A lot of people are, you can see that is a little bit, you know, off. They don't have a glowing in their eyes. And very mechanically, again, doing everything, almost like repetitive it. So we can be operating and look that we are awake with our eyes open, but inside we are asleep. Inside we are not present. Inside we are distracted. And looks like we're doing something, but we're thinking about something else. So it's like we are there, but we're not there. So these three states are happening every day. And the other curve on the side is the dreaming state. This is between the waking and deep sleep. And yes, you can have more of action there, and sometimes messages and downloads, right? I had dream with Shiva one time. I had dream with my mom last week. So those, you enter a very subtle world, and yeah, you can get some downloads and some messages, but definitely has a lot of activity. You know, sometimes some of the dreams are really crazy, right? Very colorful, and sometimes can even be scary, right? So there's a lot of things happening in there that we should take note. Actually, it's a good practice to write down the dreams, right? because if you don't write down your dreams, in a few minutes, it disappears of your head. It happened to you. You wake up like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I have some dreams that were literally like Steven Spielberg movies. I mean, they were beyond colorful. I was in like another worlds and beings, and I was like, whoa. When I woke up, where was I? So, and if you don't write it, it vanished. Does that happen to you before?
Yeah, all the time. I don't usually remember my dreams.
Or if you write it down right away, whatever you can remember, you will, start
Yeah,
picking it
I've
up.
never done that. I should start because it's weird. I do dream, but then it goes away.
Yeah. Yeah, you need to catch them before they disappear. But it's a beautiful, yeah, it's a beautiful practice, like an everything, very mystical as well. And so we go through those three states every single day, right? We wake up, we're dreaming, and eventually we go to that deep sleep where we don't even know that we exist. It's like we're in coma. No recollection of anything. And then we also have saying about the three curves here, the different planetary divisions. So the big curve will be um, Devata or Loka heaven, where all these angelical beings, Indra, resides. And then we have the earth, which is all the humans and animals and all the living creatures are. And then we have lower, Patal Loka Yamada, that is the underworld, demons, god of death. So again, in the Om, everything is in there. And by the way, that remind me of Peru. Peru, because the Incas also they have, they have the three worlds. And let me see if I remember the snake. I have a totem somewhere here, like the gods. Where is it? Oh, I is one of my plants. Hold on. Well, I don't know why it's in my plant, but it's full of dirt. So this is, where is the camera here?
Is it the condor? The condor, the jaguar, and the snake.
Yeah, good job. At least you were hearing the guys very well. But so this is, this is one of the things that I have in my altar. I'm going to wash it. Yeah. So the snake is represented by the lower realms, like, hell, if you like to call it that way. And then the panther is this world, right? The animals that are crying. And then the condor is the celestial worlds, more high. So again, I found so fascinating that, the Incas with the Egyptians, with the Hindus, they had so much similarity in a lot of things. And although they were in another side of the world, literally, right? So this is kind of universal wisdom, if you like. So now then we have how, the letters. So you have A, O, the low, and then the big one here. And they are representing the three bodies. Remember, we saw that in the koshas. We have Annamaya kosha, which is basically the physical body, and then Prana, Maya kosha. Remember, Maya illusion, kosha layer. And we have Manas Maya Kosha, the layer of the mind, and Vijnana Maya Kosha, the layer of the deep knowing and wisdom, which is your mental, energetic body. And then we have Ananda Maya Kosha. Ananda is pure happiness, joy, bliss, which is your soul body. When you are in Ananda Maya Kosha, you are close to the dot here, Atman or Brahman or the creator. And that's why we have those symptoms of be so joyful and happy. So basically here, this so that's another thing. So yeah, we can say Om, but another lineage is do Aum. Both ways is correct. Both ways is correct. So again, the first curve is the A, and that is representing by Brahma. Brahma is the creator, creates universe. He excels and universes are coming out of his pores, according to mythology. So a lot of galaxies and a lot of different universes out there. So many we don't even know. That is science. It's no record. We just know that has millions of different galaxies, just like we have the Milky Way and our planets here, has so many more, infinite perhaps. So this is Brahma's job. He creates worlds, and in the same way, he will create circumstances in your life, things, new events, new people, new things, and representing by the grass body. And then we have the O, which is the smaller curve down here, and that is represented by Vishnu, which we talk a little bit about. It is the same lineage of the good avatars, has Ram and Krishna, Buddha and Jesus, and is representing by that subtle body, which is pranayama, pranamaya kosha, and manamaya kosha and vijnanamaya kosha, all the layers that we can't touch, right? We can't touch the intellect. We can't touch our heart feelings or our emotions. They're not touchable, right? So we can just feel that. So that's the subtle body. And then we have the big curve here is Shiva, and Shiva is the destroyer or Lord of transformation, and he is affecting the astral or soul body. As I was mentioning here, we have another slide to take a look on that as well. Okay, so in all the gods, they have goddesses, which I found so wonderful because, thank you for that. So one thing here, Brahma is the creator and he has multiple heads. He has the Vedas in one of his hands, and he has, you see this, the rosary, the beads, he's doing his japa, he's doing his mantras. And he had literally like some sort of fight with another of the gods, I think Shiva, and he got a curse that he will not be available in that form to be worship. So if you want to worship Brahma as creator of the universe, you worship no form, formless. So in India, it doesn't exist a temple that will have the image of Brahma with his multiple heads to worship. That is his kind of his curse punishment. But yeah, he's the god of creation. And I want you to write, we're going to talk a little bit about as well about the gunas. Gunas, write this down. Also, this goes on your test, by the way. The gunas are the qualities of the all living beings in the earth. The gunas are the qualities of everything here in this world. They're coming from that prakriti, or they're coming from that purusha. Purusha and prakriti together. The female.
Can you spell that Gornas? Sorry.
G like Greg, U, N like Nancy, A like apple, and S like Sam.
Okay.
So the gunas are the qualities that are all around this world, and they are coming from Samkhya philosophy. Samkhya philosophy, we said that has Purusha, that is supreme consciousness representing by this male force, and then has Prakriti. Here it is. This is Purusha and Prakriti, the dot and the line. Purusha is the absolute state, is completely union with God, like Ramana Maharshi had experienced. And this is Prakriti. This is the womb of the female. This is the womb of the female, and here is the egg. This is the cosmic spermatozoid, if you like to call it that way. And this is the female cosmic womb, Prakriti. Or Pachamama, Mother Earth. Are you guys following me there?
Yeah.
All right. So Mother Earth, Prakriti, has, once she starts giving birth to the world as we see it, the cat like a cat, the mountain like a mountain, the tree, she starts giving birth to shapes and colors, because absolute state is pure light. Actually, we are on the Lionsgate portal, and is also talking about this alignment with Sirius. I think we mentioned, I don't know with who, but Sirius is, I don't know, 10 times bigger than the sun. So the absolute state is formless. It's just pure light. God is just pure light. I think everybody agrees with this. God is pure light, pure enlightenment, and it has no shape or form. When he connects with the womb of the female, Prakriti, then the world is created. This is the other, is the Hindu Big Bang version. So back to the gunas, everything that Pachamama or Prakriti gives shape to has the three gunas. And Brahma, which is represented by the first curve in the Om, he is the creator, and he will be represented by the guna of Raja. So has three gunas. Don't worry, we're going to get to that in a moment. I just want to give you the information. Raja is the guna that is the quality of creation, activation, fire, you're always moving, you're always, studying like that. And here, his female goddess here is Sarasvati. And Sarasvati, you should definitely have a picture of her right now, because she's the goddess of arts and learning. And she has a sitar, a beautiful Hindu guitar. And of course, she has also the Vedas. She also does mantras and anything related with dancing and singing and wisdom. Sarasvati is the goddess. Sarasvati is the goddess of knowledge. Sorry about this picture, didn't come out that good. I will replace. But we have Vishnu and Lakshmi. Let me see if I can. Vishnu is the reincarnation of also other avatars that come to preserve us. So Vishnu is the ones that preserves with messages of compassion and love, and he's the same expression of Krishna and Christ. Krishna, Christ, Vishnu, Buddha, they're all the same. He's the preserver god. And then Lakshmi is the goddess of abundance or wealth. And they all have like pastimes together one time. Again, it has all this mythology with the gods, So they were having a moment with Brahma, and Vishnu was laying down in this huge snake that I think it was Patanjali. Remember that he's represented by a snake. And Lakshmi is washing his feet. So they have all these pastimes, but Lakshmi is the one that will bring you wealth. And then she has golden coins dropping from her hands. And I do have a little story about that. So when one of the summers that was really slow here in Miami, I had done business with a Kundalini yoga teacher, and he was a lawyer. And I had done that like 3 years before I was coming into this moment with this low season. And basically, he will put companies together online and in the stock market. And he said, Victoria, do you want to invest in the stock market company, blah, blah, blah. And because he was a Kundalini teacher and he was a teacher, I was like, yeah, sure. So he's like, yeah, you're going to buy 100 shares for 0.001. And after some time, when the company is done, then we can put it in the market. And then maybe you have some investors that will buy the company. I couldn't understand very well what he was saying, but I was like, okay, fine, sure, I don't know, And he's like, okay, well, you need to invest $10,000. And for me, it was like, wow, $10,000, like a lot of money, right? But for some reason, I really, really trust him. And I gave him the 10,000. And when he was taking the money, he told me very clear, listen, this is a long-term investment. You will not be able to get your money right away because we need to build the company up. And then after some time, you will get your profit. Are you okay not having this money back? Are you okay being some time without it? I'm like, sure, no problem. Then 3 years go by, 3 years of this, and I kind of forgot about the money, I'm like, I knew I had it, but it wasn't there. And now I was so like I was a little broke, let's say. I was like, oh man, super slow. So then I decided to do a Lakshmi Puja. I forgot about the lawyer and the money, honestly. It's like on my memory. I said, okay, I'm going to worship Lakshmi for 30 days. And let me see if I can find another better image, perhaps, of Lakshmi here. And the one that I worship is at Synergy in the main room. It was very small. But yeah, she's a goddess, definitely. I don't know if you can see a little better. Well, oh, there we go. That's better. I will send you another images of her. You see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Lakshmi. Anyhow, so I had this little Lakshmi goddess, which is now in Synergy, and so we had a deal, and I did this ritual, and I told Lakshmi, okay, Lakshmi, for 30 days, I will worship you. This big, small. So every day I will bathe her like a girl, like a goddess. I will bathe her. I will put perfume in her. I will pick some flowers from the sidewalk. I will bring her flowers and I will offer her my food before I was eating here. Here, Lakshmi, you first, then me after. And it was a very feminine energy. Like I was treating her like a beautiful goddess, a beautiful queen, and I will feel this Shakti, this female energy. Anyhow, that was my thing with Lakshmi. After 3 weeks that I'm doing this every day, I'm chanting Lakshmi, Om Shri Lakshmi Swaha, and doing the flowers and treating Lakshmi like she was an alive goddess. Guess what? The lawyer calls me. Hi, Victoria. This was 5 years ago, by the way. I was like, hey, I completely forgot about you, man. What's going on? He's like, I moved. I live in North Carolina now, but I hope everything is well. The reason that I'm calling you is because we finally have an investor that wants to buy the company that we had created. I was like, no kidding. And he's like, yeah, well, he was an attorney. So besides a Kundalini teacher. So then I was like, he had a power of attorney and he's like, you already signed the papers. You already gave me authorization, but I just want to run by you if you're okay selling your company for, and now you have a good profit. And I'm like, sure, sell the company, no problem. And then, okay, he's like, okay, I will close the deal. I will sign in your behalf, and then I will send you a check. This was 3 years after I gave him the 10 grand. Within the 4 week that I told Ashimi, my dear, beautiful goddess, that I will worship her, I get the check in the mail miraculously. It was one of the biggest check I ever got. It was 30,000.
Wow.
30,000. So I made 10,000 per year. I was like, I couldn't believe. I got chocolates to Lakshmi. I got roses. I was like baiting her with rose petals. What else do you want? Whatever. I couldn't believe. I think I even took her to the beach. I was like, you coming with me everywhere now. But yeah, so this is my little story, right? Because this happened to me. This is true. And I think it's so, so cute, right? So this is my Lakshmi story. Yeah, now she looks much better there. But so if you need money, that's your girl. If you need abundance, what else we can have abundance of love, abundance of health, not be in the lack of. We want to be prosper. So you will worship Lakshmi if it's that what you need. Yeah. Little story. So yeah, really like that all these gods and goddesses are, always connected. And then the other curve we said there was Shiva. Shiva is the Lord of destruction or transformation. So if we have Brahma that creates, we have Shiva that destroys, and we have Vishnu or Krishna or Jesus that preserve. And the name of his partner here is Parvati. Another names for her is also Sati. And remember, look who is here. Ganesha is here. And this is another son of Shiva, the god of war, actually. I will look his name now. I just escaped. Kalitegra, I think is his name. But let's take a look in Shiva. So Shiva, first of all, you see he has a funny color. He, I told you this, but his devotees put ashes of dead people in their body, because again, they worship Shiva, and Shiva is the lord of destruction. And when your body is destroyed, you go somewhere else, you reincarnate. So but they do that. And he has the malas, no, to do Shiva mantras, Om Namah Shivaya. He also has a pet, which is a bull. He rides a bull. And the snake is a representation of the Kundalini energy that we need to wake up in our chakras, in our Shushuma channel. Then the trident represents the three gunas that we also mentioned. So Vishnu, that we just saw, Vishnu and Lakshmi are represented by Sattva guna. Sattva is the mood of goodness and lightness and wisdom and purity, all the good stuff. And Shiva is representing Tama guna. Tamas or Tamas is a guna of inertia, or being like heavy or dense, ignorance or darkness, like that. And okay, so the Kundalini is here, awake on his neck. The trident, the three gunas, Sattva, mood of goodness, Rajas, mood of passion and activity, and Tamas, the mood of inertia or ignorance. So everything has those qualities in the world. And let me get the name of the other son of Shiva before. Kartikeya. Okay, so Ganesha, remember, is son of Parvati. He cut his head, put the elephant head, but of course, he adopted him. Again, all these hiding messages behind, right? And then Kartikeya is the god of war. Another one that we should be asking for mercy right now. Stop war. Enough. Right? And look, this is the pet of Ganesha. Remember? A little mouse. Ganesha loves sweets. Look, he has a ball of fried dough. It's called ladus. Is his favorite candy. He has a belly. And his pet also has the candy. Again, all the symbolism, has hidden messages behind. Shiva is the lord of Tantra. And again, something keeps repeating. I don't know if you noticed, but it is something very powerful and mystical between the union or the yoga of the opposites, of the female and the male, of the sun and the moon, Shiva, and another name is Shakti, Shiva and Shakti, Vishnu and Lakshmi, Radha and Krishna, Brahma and Sarasvati, the sun and the moon. Let's take a look in the gunas. How you can see better is also on your manual, okay? I think the gunas should be around Ayurveda, because we work again with these qualities. So inside the Om, according to which god is represented. So again, Shiva being the destroyer, being the one that is the most heavy with these dead ashes, smoking ganja and cutting people's head, let's say. He's representing by this, kind of dark energy. He's the destroyer, destroy worlds. And destruction is very heavy energy, right? So some qualities: dual mind, obscure awareness, has like the inability to see, sluggish, foggy, heaviness, prone to depression, lazy, fear, avoidance, needs all the time to be resting because
I was about to say he's not like he sounds so cool, and then you started to explain all of that. I was like, wait a second, maybe no, I shouldn't relate to that one as much.
yeah, you
He sounds so cool.
Yeah.
And then he started listing off lazy slug. I was like, oh wait, hold on.
Yeah, I mean the tamas energy is the one that is the most dual, is the heavy.
Yeah.
We're going to see it again in Ayurveda. We have Ayurveda class on Sunday, and we see that. So what is that? What has tamaguna? A rock is heavy, doesn't go anywhere, doesn't think, doesn't evolve, has an inertia on it. And then rajas is the guna that we all are right now. So don't worry, we're all rajasic. Rajas is kind of like the fire one, is, you need that fire to study, to move, to create, to go from your house to the school, from the school to work. So it's moved by energetic mind. Can also have a distortion of awareness, because if you have too much fire, you might have a tendency for anxiety. And if you have anxiety, then you over exaggerate things, and again has a distortion of reality. It's like we can make a storm in a glass of water, right? Because it's so much of this overstimulation, hyperactivity. But if you are young like me, when I was in Argentina, I was waking up at 6 to go to work at 8, to work until 6. Then I will go to college from like 7 to 10, then get bus or subway or whatever, because I didn't have a car, and then get home at midnight for years, like 4 years. So you need these rajas, you need this movement, and I needed that to study. Otherwise, I finish work and go tamas in the couch, right? So you need this, so allows for motivation, has desire, and has, also some start inquiring about, who am I and things like that. But you can also get either, you're very emotional with rajas. So you can get too excited or you can get too depressed, those spikes. Remember, everything that goes too high, and you also drop too low. And then the one that we do want to cultivate that will be represented by Vishnu, by Krishna, by Buddha, by Jesus, is the guna of sattva. Sattva is the mood of goodness, positivity, wisdom, clarity, saucha, purity. So here you will have a clear, calm mind, neutrality, understanding, awareness, clarity of mind, easygoing, balanced, peaceful, harmonious, content, no complaints, all good. Good, are you doing good? Has truthfulness in this individual, allows for discernment, like understands, beyond the media, beyond the news, beyond all that, you can see the truth, right? And of course, practices sadhana, meditation, yoga, right? So tamas can be a rock, rajas can be literally fire, and sattva is like a feather. No, it's like a light and pure and white. So a little bit like that. So don't worry about the gunas too much now, because we will be studying that again on Sunday. So then you will be able to observe that a little bit more. But back to the Om here. So we said that in the Om, everything is contained, right? We have the three states that we go throughout the day when we are awake and operating on the world, when we are going to sleep and we still have activity, right? And then also when we are in the deep sleep that we don't see anything, is a blackout. So you can see, for example, that here in the unconscious state is like tamasic, because you're dead, you're like in coma, you don't know that you exist. So tamas, the waking state, is like rajas, because you are working and moving and creating and studying, and you're awake, and how we're awake right now. And we also talk about being awake, operating the world with your eyes open, but inside you are not there. And then the dreaming will be the Raja state, the Sattva state, when you maybe have more insights and downloads and messages with some higher power, and you get to remember. If you dream with Jesus or Krishna, or you dream with Buddha or any of these gods, Ganesha, or you dream with your ancestors, that's like really auspicious. Imagine you dream with Jesus every day or every week. It doesn't happen that often. So if you have dreams like, people that already have passed away, right? Those are definitely connections with that realm, spiritual realm. Then we said that each curve is represented by one of the gods and goddesses. We have, again, Vishnu and Sarasvati. Vishnu and Lakshmi. And then we have Brahman and Sarasvati. And then we have Shiva and Parvati, or Shiva and Shakti. And each curve represents one of the bodies in the koshas. So these different planetary celestial systems are within the Om. From the moment that we wake up until the moment we are sleeping and dreaming are within the Om. Our three layers of the bodies are within the Om. The creation of the world is within the Om. And basically everything comes from Om and returns to Om. So I hope that with this little bit of explanation, of course, you can read again the chapter on the book. Remember that will go on your test. What happens when we chant Om in class? You know, basically, when you do that, you bring the spiritual component into the class. Always when we are present and we are ready. So when we are chanting Om in the future, trying to really have a moment to like embody, okay, I'm calling God. What do I want to say to him, her? Right? Who are we invoking? And again, just honoring what does it mean. Chanting Om is a beautiful way to cleanse the space. If you have egoistic minds, thoughts, egoistic energies, arrogance, anything that is not pure, the Om will create this vibration and will help to clean that, like a sage. Instead of sage in the room, you Om the room. Okay, any questions about this?
It's just really interesting, the symbolism of everything. Like, I knew it was a very, like, important symbol because that's, like, I guess, like, the universal symbol of yoga. Like, when you go to, like, other studios and just, like, in general, really all you see is Om. So it's nice to, like, learn all of this behind, like, the meaning of it.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah, it really is.
Everything is in Om. The beginning of the world is in Om.
Yeah,
All
that
the
makes so
gods,
much sense.
all the expressions of God are in Om, and the goddesses are in Om.
Yeah.
And so we should, when we chant Om, we should really embrace. And if you're not comfortable with a lot of chanting, just Om. You go to YouTube, it has Oms for like 4 hours Om. And you just put that Om never-ending playlist, and it will definitely do something to you, to your cellular memory, to your energy. And it's a short mantra. Remember, like the bija, like the chakras. Om, 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 one after the other. You need to practice. I cannot do the practices for you. You need to sit and you need to chant for a period of time. I don't know when is the meditation class, but yeah, when we are not meeting, you need to do your sadhana, you need to practice, you need to do your flow, but you already have a few mantras, even Soham, Shalom, Shanti Om. We can, when you do those short mantras and you do with the beads, it's called japa meditation. Using the beads is called japa. And you can do one round in literally like 1 minute, 2 minutes. It's not that much time. And you say, okay, every day I'm going to chant on for 3 minutes. And you put the clock and you see what happens. You see how you feel. When you do things and when you do practices like this, you will have incredible results if you do it. If you don't do it, then no results. So now you know the meaning of Om. I think we're going to finish here unless you have more questions about anything. You can ask me anything from any subject that we haven't seen so far, so no problem.
We're meeting tomorrow at 4 p.m., right?
Oh yeah, for the class. I am teaching at 9:30, so you're more than welcome to come practice. I know. And then at 4 p.m. is a new sequence. Now is the restorative. No more push-ups. It's like
I was
fine.
just getting great at them.
Right. That's why I
I
said
don't know about
don't
great.
forget to practice. Let me just stop recording her.